So the question on everyone's mind is the Patriot Ordnance Firearms 6.5 Creedmoor Revolution still a viable weapon in 2026? Let's find out. Hey guys, my name is Cameron and welcome to Arms and Gadgets. This is the first episode or video on the channel, and the point and the reason why I created this channel was I've been using YouTube to figure out things and see other people's passions and do research and find my own passions for, I would say, the last 15 years. And sometimes I get to a point where I'm looking for something for my own research, something I want to purchase, and I can't find it or I don't find the right information. So I created this channel to give back to the community that has given me so much and maybe add some to it. A little bit of history about me. Been in the military for about 15 years. Not a shooter by trade. I just have a passion for it and the 2A community. I was a prior communications specialist and worked with different types of radios, and that kind of fueled my interest into, the IT world, radio, military tech, and so that's kind of what this channel's geared around. In between weapons reviews, some gunsmithing, and some nerdy tech stuff. Hopefully we can get a few laughs as well. All right, so what we're actually talking about here today is the Patriot Ordnance Firearms 6.5 Creedmoor Revolution direct impingement. Their Revolution series, they've got two kind of big differences. They've got their direct impingement, which has their 9-position dictator gas block, and then their piston series. I went with the direct impingement system because they're proven to be a little bit more reliable, and also it came with this full-length rail. Now, not monolithic, but very nice and all made in-house. You've got a 8-inch twist barrel. This one is 20-inch, made in-house with their muzzle brake, and these normally come with a Luth adjustable stock. I don't really like those very much. They're a little bit cheap, and I can feel a little bit of flex in them. I really like the Magpul PRS series, so I put that on, and then I also switched out the grip module. I prefer the B5 kind of more vertical style, and also it gives a really nice flush feel through here. Now, before we go touching this gun, let's go ahead and make sure we're safe and clear. And visually, physically, we are clear. All right, so this rifle from the factory did not come with any optics or a bipod. I went with a Magpul style composite bipod with M-locks, and you can see it comes with M-locks on the right, left, and bottom. And then up at the front here, it does have a hard mounted, it is machined into the rail, a Picatinny style rail at the bottom. The scope I chose for this rifle is an Arkin SH Gen 2 4-16 by 50. I really like Arkin's optics. I've got probably 3 or 4 of their scopes, and they've all been excellent. There's tons of videos out there you can watch comparing them against the big name brands. You can make your own decisions, but for me, I really like this. And then just disclaimer, I purchased everything here out of pocket. I have no sponsors for the channel. This is all just things I've purchased and collected on my own and wanted to share with you. Some of the other features of this rifle, the main reason why did I pick a Patriot Ordnance Firearms Revolution. And one, I mean, the industry is littered with AR-10s, and it's kind of hard to figure out who's worth buying when they're all, using the same manufacturers for uppers or barrels or lowers. It's like, I just wanted to cut all the fat, and I wanted to support a company that is made in America, my home state, Arizona, and they built every part of this in-house. So as you can see here, it's got a little bit different style machining than we're used to for an upper and a lower. You can see it's not much bigger than an AR platform, like an AR-15 platform, and that's what they're going for. This thing weighs a little over 7 pounds, and that's without optics and bipods. And when you compare that to your other name brand AR-10s, they're 3 pounds, almost 3 pounds under. You know, your M110 comes in without optics 10 to 14 pounds. Your PSA Saber 10 around 10 pounds without optics. HK 416 20-inch 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor, you're looking at also right around 10 to 12 pounds. So that's one thing I noticed immediately out of the box is this thing is very light, and I really appreciate that. Now you can see some kind of different ergonomics in machining than most other AR platforms. I really like they've got this dimple here for your finger to rest on in between shots. You've got ambidextrous safeties, and on this side we are locked and clear. We've got some skeletonizing and possibly I'm guessing some cooling capabilities with these cuts here. And then also we've got an ambidextrous mag release and a integrated slide release as well. So instead of having to hit this paddle to release it, we can use this guy right here. Now, I will say one of the cons about this is it takes a significant amount of force to push this in. So if I'm on the gun and I'm just using a finger, it is, man, it is, oh gosh, it is a struggle to use that fancy, slide release. I appreciate, ingenuity, and I appreciate guys thinking outside the box, but that might have to be looked at. You've got anti-drift pins on both sides of the rifle, and like I said, ambidextrous mag release works really well. Not a whole lot of force there. Some of the other features that they like to advertised with this rifle is a custom barrel nut that has fluting and fins inside it for heat dispersion, and an anti-tilt buffer tube. Overall, the fit is great. I like the ergonomics. I like the weight of the gun. My biggest complaint for kind of looks, you might not be able to tell in this sunlight, but we've got some mix match coloration between the lower and upper receiver.
Now, after reviewing this footage, I see that the upper and lower receiver are actually the same finish. My biggest gripe was actually between the rail and the rest of the receiver.
That's not what I expect out of what I paid $2,800 rifle. All right, well, enough yapping about this thing. I've got 5 rounds of Federal Premium Swift Scirocco 2, 130 grain, and we're at 100 yards, and let's see how she does. Little low left. Low left. Click another low left. Low left. I pulled that one. High left. So from here, doesn't seem too bad. Let's go ahead and lock and clear, and walk down range and see how she did.
Alright, so for the Federal Swift 130 grain, we had a mean radius of 0.527 inches or 0.503 MOA, and a group measured at 1.46 inches or 1.395 MOA. We had a 5-shot average of 2,719 feet per second with a standard deviation of 13.6 and an extreme spread of 33.6. Overall, not terrible, not great.
Alright, so now I got 5 rounds of Hornady American Whitetail 129 grain interlock. I made a slight adjustment for my 0, and we'll see how this holds. Okay, if I forget to release the bolt one more time, I am going to go sit in front of the target and have someone else shoot. How about that? Whew, that was a little spicy. 2771. Okay, wow. So the first one's about, what I can tell, about 1/2 inch high off center. Second shot maybe 2 1/4, no, maybe just under 2, bottom left at 2767. Maybe that was me. I'll try again. $27.43. Can't tell. $27.67. It's like just low center. Didn't hear a reset because I'm empty. Alright, well, that 5 rounds goes fast. Let's see how she did.
Alright guys, so for the Hornady American Whitetail 129 grain interlock, we kind of had a interesting flyer on shot 2. With the flyer we measured a mean radius of 0.87 inch or 0.83 MOA with a measured group of 2.7 inches or 2.6 MOA. Excluding the flyer, we had a mean radius of 0.4 inches or 0.4 MOA and a measured group of 1.07 inches or 1.01 MOA. Now, our 5-shot average was 2,765 feet per second with a standard deviation of 12.4 and an extreme spread of 31.8. The extreme spreads might seem high on this. Just understand it's going to be higher in a gas gun with more moving parts than a bolt-action rifle.
Alright. That shot pretty good. I think I need to come back to the left maybe 1 mil. We'll give that a shot. Next up, we got Barnes Sierra Game Kings. We got grainage wise, I think they're 140, yeah, 140 grain. I got 5 rounds. Let's load her up. So I put the mag in, I released the bolt, and then I put it on safety. See, or put it on fire. See how that works? It's like when I've got the camera recording, the dum-dum switch comes on. All right. Two 6.6 on the velocity. Pulled that one right. But they all look pretty good, actually. Now let's go check it out.
So for the Barnes Sierra Game King 140 grain, we had a mean radius of 0.57 inches or 0.54 MOA with a measured group of 1.2 inches or 1.15 MOA. We had a 5-shot average of 2,662 feet per second, standard deviation of 13.7 and an extreme spread of 35.8.
That did pretty good. That was surprising for those Barnes Sierra tipped Game King. 140 grain. Those turned out pretty good. Last but not least, I've got everyone's favorite Hornady ELDM match 140 grain. These are box factory loads. So 5 rounds, let's see how this thing does, and then maybe we'll shoot some suppressed. One thing I did not mention, this thing comes factory gassed from the factory, and it's ejecting right around the 3 o'clock, and so it's perfectly gassed right out of the box. I've got about 250 rounds through this thing now and have not had a single jam or issue. All right, Sierra, it's gonna be Hornady ELDMs, 140 grain. Sorry guys, I have some wind blowing a bush right in my way. So give me one sec. Mother Nature was not complying as she does. So we're going to reset another 5-round group. You'll see one on target there. And so at the end we'll have 6 total. But hopefully you get some type of semi-useful information out of this. Wind is kicking up. Mirage left to right, at least 7 miles an hour. Interesting. Good shot placement. Low velocity, 2560. And clear. Alright, let's go check her out.
And for our last test of the day was the Hornady ELDM 140 grain. These shot probably the tightest out of the bunch with a mean radius of 0.35 inches or 0.33 MOA with a measure group of 1.03 inches or 0.983 MOA. So technically under 1 MOA. I believe we could have shot better had I had a more stable platform and maybe not been rushing my shots. So I think the rifle is definitely capable. We had a 5-shot average of 2,579 feet per second with a standard deviation of 13.3 and an extreme spread of 36.6. Overall, they were the best rounds of the day.
I don't know if the camera will pick it up as I'm swapping to my suppressor here. I really like, I've never seen a crowning so aggressively inset on that. I don't know if you can pick that up. Usually they're not that deep, but maybe that helps aid in some of their accuracy. All right, y'all, let's see if we can use this round for what it was intended for. The 6.5 Creedmoor was developed by Mr. John Patton in 1965. He was a huge fan of the band Creed, and his last dying words was, "More Creed. Creedmoor, please." And he hated the western banded cactus squirrel. So we're going to do him an honor here and see if we can smack this silhouette here at 200 yards. Going to be using the Barnes Sierra Game King. That was doing really well for us.
All right, so what this idiot is talking about is a squirrel that he believes is real, called the western banded cactus squirrel, formerly called the retardus cacti squirtus. It is an abnormally large squirrel with the body shape related to your common farm chicken. What he won't tell you is how much ammo it took to figure out his wind call and that his dope was wrong. But a trained eye can see the remaining bullets on the table. God bless him. Let's keep this one between just us girls.
Did you just see that? I don't think that was a bug. I think that's a feature. We just inadvertently double tapped. Okay, well, that squirrel ain't dead, but he's definitely scared. All right, guys. Well, in closing, those are some pretty good results. Patriot Ordnance Firearms guarantees their rifles for 7 MOA from the factory. And, you know, I'm not the best shooter on the planet. It's hot out here. I'm not using the best equipment, and yada, yada, yada. But those are pretty good results. I'm pretty happy with that. I purchased this rifle from layawayguns.com. Around $2,800. They have 10-month interest-free layaway, and I highly recommend them. They were super awesome. You know, the listing had said that it came with a Magpul PRS stock, but I was sent one with a Luth AR stock. I contacted the guy. Same day he calls me back immediately and tells me, you know, very apologetic, and immediately orders me the correct one. So now I have this and a Luth AR stock at home. They're based out of Alabama. Super awesome guys. Highly recommend. And on the topic of financing and layaway, if you guys want cool toys like this, you know, night vision, expensive optics, this isn't expensive, cans, you name it, please do not finance your toys, okay? You're already paying above what you should be for the toys you're trying to get. Do not pay more to a bank for interest. Okay, they know you don't need this stuff. They're just going after people who want it. So, you know, 30, 40, 50% interest, even more. You look up reviews of those financing services on Reddit and you'll see nothing but terrible reviews. So layaway, I'm okay with, as long as you're not paying anything, any extra fees on top, and you pay on time. So in closing, I'm dedicating this channel to my stepfather, Master Sergeant John Slaby. He helped spark my love for the 2A community, guns, and the tactical stuff. He motivated me to join the military and supported me along the way. He passed away in 2023 to brain cancer. Unfortunately, he fought long and hard, but it was a glioblastoma in a very aggressive form. It was not proven, but it was highly suspected due to his exposure to chemicals, fumes, and fuel, being around military aviation for over 20 years of his life. So with that, if you go to my links in the description and in the channel description, I've got a merch shop. All profits go to the Hunter 7 Foundation. The Hunter 7 Foundation is a nonprofit cancer research and education foundation. They help veterans who are currently serving or have served, help to educate them about cancer, pre-screening, and support those that are currently battling cancer. I wish I had known about them before it was too late with my stepdad. But here's your chance. Go get some gear and feel good about doing it and supporting my channel. Thanks again, guys. My name's Cameron, and this is Arms and Gadgets.